In the name of Allah, the Omnipotent, the Merciful, my brother, Your Royal Majesty, King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the monarch of Bahrain, the president of the ordinary 33rd summit of the League of Arab States. On the level of this summit, my brothers, Your Royal Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, heads of state and monarchs of the Arab and brotherly states, Mr. Ahmed Abul Ghait, the Secretary General of the League of Arab States, Mr. President João Lourenço, of the President of Angola, the head of the African Union, Mr. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Costa, the head of the European Parliament, Mr. Hussein Taha, the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Conference, and the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, heads of delegations and heads of international organizations, ladies and gentlemen, may God's peace and blessings be with you all. At the outset, I would like to extend my thanks and appreciation to King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the monarch of Bahrain, for his concerted efforts throughout his presidency of the Summit Council of the League of Arab States, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you all and the entire Arab and Muslim nations for the advent of the holy month of Ramadan. It is with pleasure that I welcome you to your second homeland, Egypt, which is always standing by the side of right and justice, no matter what the plights and ordeals are. Your participation in this extraordinary summit today amid a very sophisticated and complicated regional crisis and in response to the outcry of brotherly state of Palestine, we renew our unshaken commitments towards the lawful issues of the nations. Today, we are gathered by a painful reality as our region is faced with massive challenges that storm the regional peace and stability and throw away whatever achievements and also pose grave threats to many Arab states, allowing for the usurpation of Arab territories to be taken away without any lawful grounds. History will pause to record what happened in Gaza, how humanity lost its virtues, and how the war in Gaza left a smear on the face of humanity with the titles and headlines of inhumanity, absence of justice. Gazans who lost loved ones, those who were widowed and orphaned, are looking up to you with all hopes to restore their hope of last and permanent peace. The belligerent, ferocious war on Gaza aimed at destroying all aspects of life and with the force of weapons aimed at evacuating the Strip from their homeland, as if providing an option to the Gazans doomed to destruction or death. This is based on Egypt's historical stance in support of the Palestinian people and in support of the Palestinian people to stand firm on their ground. The inhuman practices inflicted upon Palestine and the Palestinians have caused some to falter, yet I have been always certain that the Palestinian people are brave and intrepid, setting examples of fortitude and holding steadfast to the homeland, which will be admired by all the peoples of the world. With absolute veracity, I would like to reiterate that this is an example of fortitude for the restoration of lawful rights. I recall with you in this dire circumstances that it was Egypt that launched peace more than 5 decades ago in this region and honored its commitments. We know nothing but peace based on right and justice that preserve the rights and maintain the territorial integrity. This is clearly expressed in the peace accord executed by Egypt in 1979, obligating each party to respect the other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. This will mandate that no new reality causing the lawful owner of the land to be forcibly transferred outside the lands, as Egypt is adamant on regional peace and stability. Egypt, from the day one on the war in Gaza, has been seeking to have a ceasefire established in cooperation with our brothers in Qatar and the United States. And this wouldn't have been achieved without the concerted efforts of President Trump and his administration, which we hope will continue in order to have the ceasefire whole. And the hope is restored with the Palestinian people to have their independent sovereign state established in order to have a lasting peace prevailing in the region among all the peoples. Ladies and gentlemen, Egypt has always worked in cooperation with our brothers in Palestine towards forming an administrative commission from professional and Palestinian technocrats, independent ones, to take the reins of affairs of power in Gaza Strip. This commission will be responsible for overseeing the relief aid and also for a permanent and an interim period of time in order to pave the way for the return of the Palestinian Authority to administer the Gaza Strip. We also will be providing training to the security personnel taking control of security within the Gaza Strip. We have been working with Palestinian Authority and other international players for the rebuilding of and reconstruction of Gaza Strip, starting with urgent reconstruction efforts. Egypt calls for this plan to be adopted in today's summit. Regional and international support be rallied. It is a step towards preserving the rights of the Palestinian people to hold to their homeland. And I reiterate that this plan must go parallel to a peace plan, security and political, where all the regional states will be part, supported by the global community, aiming at a permanent resolution of the Palestinian conflict. And from this rostrum, I call on the friendly and free states worldwide to effectively take part in the reconstruction conference, which will be convened in Egypt next month. Let's all rally support to the fund to be created as a sublime goal and humanitarian one for the right of all the Palestinians, women and children, to live peacefully on their homeland like all the peoples of the world. Amid the unfolding developments, we are all required to reiterate our total rejection and condemnation of the violations and aggressions against the Palestinian people in the occupied West Bank, including the military incursions to these towns and refugee camps in the West Bank, as well as the Israeli illegal settlements and confiscation of lands. And within this context, we strongly reject and condemn and also warn of the consequences of the Israeli continued desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque and any undermining of the current state of affairs. We utterly reiterate that Jerusalem is not just a city, it is the symbol of our identity. Speaking of peace in the Middle East, without resolving the Palestinian Israeli conflict is pointless. No true peace can be established without the establishment of the Palestinian state. Peace cannot be maintained by force. The independent sovereign Palestinian state on the basis of June 4, 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital, with all the assurances be provided at the same time in order to preserve the security of Israel. The vicious circle of violence and the continued suffering of the Palestinian people for more than 7 decades mandates that we should be farsightedness into reality and deal with facts on the ground. It is also require us to join hands in order to reach the desired peace, provide means of prosperity and co-living among the peoples of the region. Let us look at the peace treaty between Egypt and Israel, which was executed via American mediation in 1979 as a model to follow in order to turn the state of hostility, war, and vengeance to diplomatic relations. It is time to adopt a political course, genuine and effective, conducive to a permanent and just resolution of the Palestinian cause in accordance with the international laws and resolutions. I am certain that President Trump is capable of achieving the same to put an end to the tension, hostilities, and wars in our region. Thank you for your attentive listening, and may God's peace and blessings be with you. Allow me, due to time restraint, please observe the same in your messages. Those who are willing to present their message in a written form to be included within the documents of the summit, please do so. And now I give the floor to the Secretary General of the League of Arab States, Ahmed Abul Ghaid.